Hello and welcome back. Just a little update about how things are going. I ordered a heater for that tank over there. Haven't worried about the breeding cage yet. We're not there. I don't know if it comes through on video, but I think it's cleared up pretty nicely. And it's chugging along. I haven't put any fish pellets in it for a few days. I'm just relying on the ammonia in the water. I think I'll go ahead after the video. I'll just go ahead and do it now so I don't forget. I'll just plop one in. There it goes. One little pellet to work on some ammonia just in case. I gotta get some test strips because I don't know where it's at. But I thought I would do the video because I'm dealing basically with that tank a little bit differently. Like I do everything a little bit differently. I was just looking at a comment I put on an experienced, well, I'm experienced too, but another experienced fish keeper's channel. He was talking about the inch per gallon rule, or vaguely mentioned it in his video. So I went ahead and explained the first half of my new inch per gallon rule in his comment section. He comes back with, okay. And I think when he read it, he kind of had the, yeah, okay moment. He didn't really see it. I just trying to keep the post as short as possible. I gave two size examples on each rule. My rule and the 1 inch of fish per gallon of water that everybody already knows. It's pretty popular. But it also breaks terribly. So I was like, okay, 1 inch of fish equals 1 gallon of water. And then the other one was a 10-inch fish requires 10 gallons of water, right? Yeah. And then I said, okay, as for my rule, the 1-inch fish requires 2 gallons of water. And that 10-inch fish, well, he requires over 1,000. I think it was 1,024. And just kind of left it there. Not getting into how you get such a big discrepancy, and not getting into the other half of adding fish 2, 3, and 4. So he comes back with, okay. I don't see, or I don't think that he saw any math that could compare, a 1-inch fish requires 2 gallons, but a 10-inch fish goes all the way up to over 1,000. How do you get over 1,000 gallons of water in 9 inches? But like everything, a little different. So, what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the water from this tank, which is, starting to cycle. Doesn't smell like a swimming pool anymore. But the ammonia is probably skyrocketing. Might be starting to head down, although I doubt it. The temperature. tells me that the ammonia is probably not subsiding yet. Yes, I just said the temperature is telling me that it's unlikely that the ammonia is subsiding yet. If I've got any nitrates, I'm sure they're very low. Okay, so as what I'm doing is I'm taking the water from this tank, even if it does have high ammonia levels, I really don't care, because this tank is established. And the thinking is, if I take the water from that tank and put it in this one, at least the cycle has started. And in that tank, although there was, now there's very little to no chlorine moving from that tank to this one. I want as little chlorine as possible, and I figure that's a good way to do it. I might get more ammonia, but I'm not bringing over high levels of chlorine. Not until I figure out, what those levels are. They were strong enough that I was smelling it, though. So, that's how it's going. From the cycling tank into this one, because it just seems to me that partially cycled water is better than water that's not cycled at all with chlorine and chloramines in it. That's my thinking. The fish are all still doing well. There's all 9 of them are still in there. The new bamboo has proved that it's not, though. In the video, this leaf over here looks a little better to me than it does in the video. When I look over the top of the phone, this one's doing okay, but it's clearly got, some yellow. The ones inside are about the same. But then we have this yellow one over here. It gave up. So clearly there's a bit more setback. It continued to go downhill. I thought it was, going to recover and just move uphill. But apparently it decided to take a step or two back first. I don't think it's giving up. I still think it'll be okay. I don't think it's giving up. But that leaf has. This leaf may follow. So that's how that's coming along. It definitely needs the best water I can give it. But, even if the whole thing dies, we'll just, take another start from someplace, right? So, yeah, that's where we're at. And I've reminded myself, that, it seemed like the guy just kind of dismissed it. Okay. Probably didn't understand, couldn't see the math. And just, dismissed it. It's not something the hobby really needs. But I think a good gauge for beginners is sorely needed in the hobby. And the 1 inch per 1 inch of fish, that works okay to start with. But even a 5-inch fish and a 5-gallon aquarium, a 3-inch fish in a 3-gallon aquarium, it starts moving toward cruelty pretty quickly. 2-foot fish in a 24-gallon aquarium? How big would that aquarium be? Well, there's the 25. Kind of visualize it that way. A 2-foot fish in a 25-gallon aquarium? Or maybe it's 29. Maybe it skips 25. I don't know. I don't think it skips 25, but it just doesn't seem to work to me. Whereas you can, do the math for 9 1-inch fish, all of it, not just for the first fish, but that halving thing that comes later. Do all the math. The tank is lightly stocked, but I don't know, it doesn't look too bad. Yes, it's very lightly stocked, but there's enough fish in there, I think, to, seems to work. And the maintenance is super easy with an understocked tank. When the maintenance starts getting harder and it's more work, that's a sign that your tank isn't big enough, in my opinion. It's like putting a horse in a pasture. If the horse turns the pasture that it's in to mud in 3 weeks, that's a sign that the pasture's not big enough. Now, if you put a horse on 50 acres, that one horse is never going to turn 50 acres into a mud pit. Never. Is it too big? Technically. You could have a few more horses on 50 acres. But is too big as big of a problem as too small? And with that, I'll let you go and talk to you next time.